Hello, we are at Clachan Caravan and Motorhome Club site in Killin, and finally this is the long anticipated full live-in review of the beautiful little Bailey Discovery D42. We've had nearly 4 weeks in this caravan, towed it about 600 miles, and this review is going to concentrate on what the caravan is like to live with. And we're going to start with the price, weights and measures. We'll then go on to the exterior. We will then move on to what it's like to tow and the towing characteristics, going then on to the interior, and then finishing with the overall build quality and if anything has gone wrong. So we're going to kick straight off with the price, weights and measures. Regarding the price, weights and measures, we're going to compare the Bailey Discovery D42 to its nearest rivals, the Swift Basecamp 2 and the Elddis Xplore 422. As of the end of July 2021, the retail price of the Bailey is £18,099. This has recently increased. However, the small print adds a delivery charge of £565, which you have to pay anyway. In my opinion, this is wrong. Why is the delivery charge hidden? The total is £18,664 on the road. The Swift Basecamp 2 currently retails at £19,670, but again, you've got to add that sneaky £545 delivery charge, which makes for £20,215 on the road, but this is due to be increased soon. So it's substantially more than the Bailey, but it does have a solar panel, exterior barbecue point and an exterior socket. But what it doesn't have is anywhere to store your bedding. Plaudits go to Elddis because the price of the Xplore shown on the website includes the delivery charge. It's an on-the-road cost, so therefore big thumbs up to Elddis. Now, to get the Xplore anywhere close to the Discovery's specifications, you need to add the SE pack, which will give you alloys, a stabiliser and a spare wheel. But even with the SE pack, the Xplore comes out at £16,723. That's almost £2,000 cheaper than the Bailey, or £3,500 cheaper than the Basecamp. But again, this is due for a price increase quite soon. The shipping length of the Discovery is 5 metres 62 or 18 foot 5. Internal length is 3 metres 87, that's 12 foot 8, and the overall width is 2.3 metres, that's 7 foot 4. The MRO is 884 kilos and the standard MTPLM is 995 kilos, which is upplateable to 1,100 kilos. Its MRO is 48 kilos lighter than the Basecamp and just under 100 kilos lighter than the Xplore 422 with the SE pack, but the Xplore is almost 1 metre longer. Now, as far as payloads go, please see my previous video about payloads. I'll leave a link in the description below. When we picked up the Bailey Discovery D42, it should have weighed about 924 kilos with what was on board, but it actually weighed 944 kilos with just the battery, water carriers and wheel lock on board. Okay, so that was the price, weights and measures of this caravan. Now let's have a closer look at the exterior. So full disclosure here folks, I absolutely love the look of this Caravan. I love the shape of it, I love the round back. Now many people are put off by that off-centre seam at the back. Doesn't really worry me, I just love those curved edges. There is an awning rail all the way around the top, and that allows for the corner awning that you can get from Prima Leisure. Another thing I love is the door. It opens what I consider to be the correct way, so the wind can't get into it and it won't fly open when you're on the road. Also, it is a two-part door with a fly screen and a light overhead, so it's got everything you need. The mains inlet is on the same side as the door, which I find is not convenient. There's an exterior locker next to this, but do be aware that there is no socket in the exterior locker, so no means to be able to plug something in. Services such as your water and your cassette toilet are all on the offside away from the awning. So to surmise, overall, I absolutely love the look of it. It is so cute, and that's why in honour I'm wearing my 1970s or 1980s Bailey badge, Top Tourers from Bailey. It really is a top tourer. So that's the exterior, but what is it like to tow? Let's find out. To start with, let's talk about the nose weight. I found this to be very light. Even if I took all my clothes out of the wardrobe and put them on the front seat, which I found to be a huge faff, I could still get no heavier than 40 kilos on the nose. Now for a Caravan of this size or this weight, you should be aiming for a nose weight of 70 kilos. So that was a bit of an issue in my book. Another thing I didn't like is the fact that the wheel nuts, like with many other Caravans today, need an adapter if you want to check the torque with your torque wrench. Now, checking the torque of your wheel nuts before you set off is, in my opinion, a vital pre-departure safety check. And anything that puts a barrier between you doing this or not doing this, like for example a fiddly adapter, is in my opinion a bad thing. However, here's the good stuff. I found that the Bailey was so light and easy to manoeuvre, there was no need at all for an expensive heavy motor mover. With that long A-frame and the stabiliser hitch, there was no hint of any instability whatsoever when towing behind my truck. However, I was towing at 50%. That long A-frame can accommodate a storage box or a cycle rack. So if you did specify the optional cycle rack and put two bikes on the front, you would then be able to achieve a nose weight of about 70 kilos. However, if you are going to do this, I would strongly advise that you have the MTPLM up-plated to 1,100 kilos. So if you are going to stick with the 995 kilo MTPLM, you're never really going to get around that issue of the light nose weight. Contributing to that awesome stability on the road is the fact that the battery and the LPG cylinders are situated in the centre of the Caravan for optimum stability. In its standard MTPLM of 995 kilos, even though you have a low payload with this weight, it does make it EV friendly. So if you do have a vehicle with a towing limit of 1,000 kilos, the Bailey Discovery D42 is one of the only Caravans you can tow. I found its width of 2.3 meters was terrific for towing with confidence along narrow two-way roads. It really was a pleasure and a joy to tow. Okay, so that was towing. Now let's have a closer look at this rather lovely interior. Full disclosure again, folks, I absolutely love the style of the interior. It's fresh, it's simple, it's minimal, and yet it's not stark. To me, in my eyes, this really does achieve the perfect balance between modern and smart and cozy and comfortable. However, I'm going to start off with a niggle, and that is when I walked in, we were experiencing warm weather during the test. It was the smell of the tyre that hit me. The spare wheel is stored in the front locker. Even though I covered it with a blanket and bags to try and stifle the smell of the rubber, the smell did hit me every time I walked in the Caravan. This problem is exacerbated by the fact the tyre is kept next to the water heater, which gets quite warm. Speaking of the Truma water heater, that worked extremely well. I was very impressed with that. The narrow front window divides opinion. At first, I wasn't really keen on it. To be honest, I'm still not overly keen on it. However, the fact that I didn't have a nice wide view out was not as much of an issue as I thought it would be. I could certainly live with it. The seats I found to be very comfortable, but I do have a top tip, and that is use one of your pillows to make it even more comfortable. I found the fold-up table was very useful for snack meals. The main table was easy to put up, and I used to use that for my computer. The reason I put up the main table for my computer is because, be aware folks, there are no mains sockets to the front of the Caravan. Of course, you can have a dealer fit one for you if you want, but then of course you're going to add to the cost and, crucially, the weight. There are a total of 3 mains sockets fitted. There is 1 over the fridge and 2 in the kitchen. There is also 1 USB point which is located in one of the spotlights. I found this to be very useful. If you're into TV, your TV goes on the fridge and the aerial is included. One of the Discovery's strongest points is its lighting. I found the lighting to be absolutely brilliant. I was also impressed with the blinds and the fly screens at every window. The blinds are Remus blinds, which are very, very posh. I found the kitchen to be excellent. It works really well. Lighting is again terrific. There's an excellent fridge on the other side of the Caravan, which stores a load of food. I do have one criticism about this fridge though, and that is that there is no indicator when you are on mains or 12 volts. So you have no indication at all to tell you that the fridge is functioning correctly. If there was a problem with the supply, you wouldn't know until you discovered that your food had all been spoiled because it was too warm. There's a 3-burner hob and a combi oven and grill, which was great for me. I found the rings to be a little bit too large, especially when making a coffee, but I found this super little ring reducer for when I'm using my mocha pot. In the cutlery drawer below the sink, I found that 2 IKEA Rationale boxes fitted perfectly. One for cutlery, one for utensils. There was also plenty of space for washing up, as long as the cooker lid was lowered. For this, I find one of these draining cloths, which is like a covered towel, is ideal for standing the washing up when it's draining. Next to the door is a very useful boot locker, and there's also a spacious wardrobe with shelves, and next to the door are some useful pegs as well. There are plenty of roof lockers around the Caravan. In fact, what I would say is that there is more storage volume than there is the payload to be able to fully use it. As for bedding, you can put your bedding under the seat. I found it was taken up with just one large duvet, so you might be okay with 2 smaller duvets. You'll certainly be fine with 2 sleeping bags or with a large duvet. The washroom is a wet room design. I used the shower many times, and I used to get a good 5 minutes or more of continuous hot water when taking a shower. That was plenty for me, although of course do remember I don't really have any hair. Of course, what's a bit of a pain is if you have a shower in the evening like I do, and then you want to use the loo in the night, the floor is all wet, and of course a wet curtain at night is also a pain. My advice would be to get a duck board, so that once you've had your shower you can put the duck board in and you've got a dry surface to stand on. Now let's talk about the build quality. Let's start outside, and I was more than impressed, really impressed with the build quality of the exterior, particularly because the Bailey Discovery D42 has a one-piece front and roof. So with the join at the back, you actually only have 3 sheets of aluminium making the entire Caravan. With fewer joints, that means that there are fewer opportunities for any leaks. That is a real thumbs up from me. Inside, the build quality was almost as high. It was really good, but there were a few things that I found were not quite so good. Throughout the Caravan, there are all these stick-on covers for screws. You can see that some of them are already starting to peel off. That's not really very good. There are too many of them and they're just already looking a little bit scruffy. Give it another couple of years and they'll all be peeling off and you'll have exposed screws. I found the clips for the seat backs to be a little bit flimsy. They sometimes come unclipped and they're only plastic, so again within a few years these will become brittle and break. In the wardrobe, these Jubilee clips that connect the water pipes sometimes came loose. A couple of times I found a little puddle in the wardrobe after towing because the Jubilee clip had come loose and I'd had a shower, and on one occasion I had my camera bag in the wardrobe and all my camera equipment got absolutely soaked. So the moral of the story is to keep these Jubilee clips checked, but putting them in the wardrobe where you're going to have a load of clothes isn't great. But then, to be fair to Bailey, they are in an accessible position, so you can tighten them up when you need to. What was also not so good, and bearing in mind I was only the second user of this Caravan, it had only been used for 2 days before me, was the fact that the front table was already sagging. I had not put excess pressure on this, and yet already just in normal use it was starting to sag after just a couple of weeks. Okay, so just to sum up the Bailey Discovery D42, it's no exaggeration to say this Caravan has pretty much blown my mind for many reasons. I think because it's light in weight and it's so easy to tow, it's not too wide, it's made caravanning fun again. You're not always stressed when you're towing, especially on narrow two-way roads, because it doesn't stick out that much more than my truck. Obviously I'm towing at 50%, so it's been absolutely a dream touring with this Caravan. It really is a fun touring Caravan, and that's why I'm not terribly keen on calling Caravans like this entry level, because who says that even if you've been caravanning 20, 30, 40 years, you don't want something that's fun, lightweight and easy to tow? And that's why I don't want to call this an entry-level Caravan. Also because the spec is fantastic. With the alloy wheels, the Remus blinds, you've got obviously central heating and double glazing and everything you'd expect with a modern Caravan. You've got everything you need to be comfortable all year round. You've got great build quality with the 3-part construction, the 2 walls and the roof and front all being 1 part. Oh, wind's just got up there. So in general, this has just been a cracking van, and touring with it has really, really had a profound effect on me, and that's no exaggeration. The one thing I would say to be aware of, folks, is the payload issue. If you want to go for the 995 kilo option as it comes out of the box, be aware that then it's not really realistic to consider having the bike rack on the front or have a mover fitted. So if you're going to have it in its 995 kilo MTPLM, let go of the fact that you're going to have the bike rack or a mover. If you can upgrade your weight to 1100 kilos, then by all means, go for the bike rack, go for a mover if you need it, and enjoy. But of course, that's going to be an extra 100 kilos. Even if you go for the upgrade and you have a few toys added, you're still not going to be able to put a huge amount in this Caravan. That is just something to be aware of. But other than that, it is absolutely cracking. And I really like it. If my best friend was going to buy one, I would say, yes, go for it. It is a super van. It's opened my eyes to lightweight, simple, easy touring. And it really has been a huge amount of fun. And I don't want to give it back now. It's been the smallest, it's been the cutest Caravan on site everywhere we've been. I absolutely love it. So it just leaves me to say a huge, huge thank you to Bailey of Bristol for letting us borrow this Caravan for 4 weeks at a time when caravans are not exactly lying around, they're very scarce. So it was very generous of Bailey to loan us this Caravan, get us back on the road, get us making videos for you again. So I can't thank Bailey enough for doing that. Please check out their website. I will leave a link in the description below. And in the meantime, folks, if you did enjoy this video and you found it useful, do please remember to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already. It really does make a difference if you subscribe, it really helps. And it just leaves me to say, from Dougal, from me, and from about 6 gazillion midges and flies, thanks for tuning in. There. Are you sad about giving the Caravan back, Dougal? I am. I think we're both sad about giving the Caravan back. We don't want to give it back, do we? No. Do you think they'll notice if we don't? Sadly, I think they might notice if we don't give it back. Never mind. Oh well, that's both of us folks today. We never smile.